Hello, my name is Fanen Chiahemen. I'm the author of this book, Never Make a Sound, a memoir. I'll begin by saying that the first edition of my book is available in paperback and ebook format from various outlets, including Amazon, of course. And to find out exactly where you can get a copy, I would direct you to my website, which is also displayed on the bottom of the screen. It's nevermakeasound.com, nevermakeasound.com. So, Never Make a Sound is an inspiring true story of a young girl who's trapped in a situation she can't escape and has to find a way to survive. Being a memoir, it is, of course, my story or part of my story. Uh, in my early years, I overcame various adversities, abuses, traumas. Some of the things I experienced include domestic violence, emotional abuse, neglect, and parental separation. And those things went on to, shape the way the rest of my life played out. Um, I wrote this book because I wanted to tell my story first and foremost. But also I had this a greater purpose beyond telling it. This is a story that I personally have never seen. I've never read about, but I do believe it's a story that needs to be told. Among other things, this book is rare because it shines a light from a child's point of view on emotional abuse within a parent-child context, versus the more common intimate partner dynamic that you do see. It is an extremely personal yet global story. It occurs on several continents. This is because I was born in Lagos, Nigeria, but I spent very little time there. I left when I was very young, wasn't even 5 years old when I left. And, I was the child of expatriates, so I've lived in several countries and I went from country to country to country as a child of expatriates. And that is actually part of the texture that's one of the textures that's woven into the story. So it's quite a unique perspective that it has. Um, Above all, it follows the journey of a child who makes a decision to heal, and it's the story of a child setting off on a journey to triumph over the odds that are stacked against her. So, of course, it was cathartic for me to write this book, but for a reader, I believe that what it represents is hope. It is a story of hope and overcoming and triumph. Um, I'll talk a little bit about the style of the book. Like I said, it's written from a child's point of view, and the style is very poetic and embodied, which is what makes it a unique style of memoir as it is. And I wrote it that way to allow the reader to really bear witness to the experience. I believe that allows for more compassion and understanding when you are actually in the child's shoes and experiencing it the way the child would experience it, almost, somatically. I was very intentional about the format of the artistry of, the way it's constructed and the words I used. Um, it's written in a way that it actually invites the reader to process their own journey through the story. For example, there's a lot of white space in the book, and that invites the reader to, maybe journal, write, reflect on, what they're experiencing as they're reading it, their own journey. Um, and yeah, so one of the things that I'm extremely proud of is that when this book was first published, it was a finalist for an award. It was called the Between Genres Award, which is based in Vancouver. And that happened the year it came out. So very proud of that. Another thing I want to mention is that most people who read it tell me that they read it in one sitting. So I mean, it's quite a spare book, but one of the feedback that I receive quite often is that people find it very hard to put down once they've started reading it. Um, on my website, which I said earlier is nevermakeasound.com, which is, displayed on the bottom of the screen there. You can find links to some media interviews that I've done where I've unpacked my journey to writing the book and my process of writing. Um, and I will say that sharing this story has been life-changing for me. I believe that there is great power in sharing your story. Um, there is great healing. It gives you a real sense of purpose and fulfillment and taking control of your narrative, especially if you're writing about overcoming something, some adversity. Becoming the narrator helps you transcend the story and take control of the narrative. But also there's deep satisfaction in being able to help others. Most of us have adversity that we have overcome, and sharing it not only empowers you, but it also has the power to help someone else. So writing can be a very powerful tool. Um, and I'll also mention that during the course of promoting this book and talking about it, I've come across many people who've expressed a desire to write their own story, but they feel overwhelmed. And so one of the things writing this inspired me to do was to launch a memoir coaching service where I work one-on-one with people to help them turn their personal stories into a compelling book if they would like. So I will just close by again mentioning that if this book or anything I've mentioned interests you, compels you, I would encourage you to visit my website, nevermakeasound.com. Again, it's displayed on the screen, nevermakeasound.com. There is a contact page on there where you can reach out to me directly to learn more about what I do, memoir coaching, or just if you want to contact me with any questions you have about my story, my journey, my book writing. I welcome and love dialogue. Um, and you can connect to my social media through there as well. Um, and also I have a Substack that I write on regularly, so you can connect on. So the best place to go if you want to connect with me is to my website, and that will lead you to all the things. And on my website, you can also sign up for my monthly newsletter to receive updates on upcoming activities I'm doing, my media appearances, author events that I'm doing, and of course, any future writings, because, I'm a writer and I have more things to put out there. So, again, the book is Never Make a Sound, a memoir. I'm Fanen Chiahemen, the author of Never Make a Sound, a memoir, and you can find it at nevermakeasound.com.